You may think that you are doomed. So many people may have told you that, but that's not true.
So you said Amex, right?
Yeah.
I tell you, I'll get 4 or 6 of them. This is what I did.
Yeah.
I was killing it for 5 years straight, getting over $250,000 every year consistently. Hit a bump in the road. I need to file bankruptcy personally and on the business. And he was like, well, that's $5K. Well, I don't have that. So I had to literally go down to the courthouse and file my own bankruptcy.
But let's not skip past the part when you say you hit a bump in the road. What was the bump in the road?
In this video, you're gonna get some of the best business credit gems out there. Welcome to Business Credit Gems, GOATS Edition.
This is the best route, especially if you can do it from your home.
Right.
And look and listen from your home. It's the best route for you to get access to that information and get exposed to stuff you don't know. You can't do what you don't know. If you get 50K, that's 50K. We can go up to however much we really want, you know, but reachable, we can easily touch 100K by going to maybe 10 different banks with different credit bureaus though.
In today's video, I'll be covering exactly how you can obtain business credit through your LLC, how to get business credit the fast way, and what you need to be aware of. All right, guys, business credit. It refers to your business's ability to borrow money. Now, your business's credit is highly influenced by your business's credit score.
We do not want to go and get these credit cards within one bureau because then you will start getting declined. If you don't understand the metrics of which bank pull which bureau, right? Then you might go to all the banks that pull TransUnion and you'll get declined. You'll be like, man, I thought he said I can get 100K.
Right.
So strategic to it, which we go to different credit bureaus to get different approvals.
A business credit score is like a personal credit score, except it's for a business. Now, this means that your credit worthiness of your business is going to be carefully tracked and monitored, just like your personal credit worthiness is carefully tracked and monitored in order to generate a credit score.
So you said Amex, right?
Yeah.
I tell you, I'll get 4 or 6 of them. This is what I did.
Yeah.
I like to open up different internet browsers, right? So American Express, they're gonna allow you to get 4 to 6 credit cards within their system with one pull. So being as though they just pulled your credit report, right? And it looks good and you got one approval.
Right.
They will allow you up to 4 to 6 of their products with that one pull since they just got your credit report.
Here are the reasons why it is crucial to have business credit. Number one, you will never know when you will need to borrow money.
So I like to apply for at least 4 to 6 American Express cards in a row, and they only gonna look at my credit report one time. So me specifically, I got approved for $25,000 each one. Up to one of them, no preset limit.
Right.
But you know, other ones were $25,000 limit. So now I might get 100K with one lender.
I do not need to remind you what happened during COVID-19. Please just close your eyes and go back to that moment in time. During the course of business, you might find that you will be needing money either through the form of a loan, a line of credit, a credit card, or another method because there are unforeseen circumstances that could arise as being a business owner.
How to get a business credit card with poor credit. You may think that you are doomed. So many people may have told you that, but that's not true. Let's go. And then lastly, I'm gonna give you some insider tips that'll help you get business credit cards, business lines of credit, and business loan. If you have a 580 or higher, one of the best credit cards for your business is going to be a Capital One Spark card, like a 585 score, you know, really low, below 600, and they were able to get a few $1,000s from Capital One Spark.
The second reason why business credit is important is it gives you more flexibility with vendors and with suppliers. If you have good business credit, then your vendors and suppliers might give you a little more leeway when it comes to payment times. For example, instead of making you pay at the time of a delivery, the vendors and suppliers might allow you to pay 30 days after a delivery or 45 days after a delivery. And this can help you with the cash flow in growing your business.
The second type of credit card is going to be a secured credit card. So I know so many people are like, oh, that's just me giving money. Yes, in the beginning, you may have to put $500, you know, for example. And the great thing about it is with Wells Fargo Secure Credit Card, if you give them $500 or $1,000, that is how much they will give you a credit card for.
The third reason to why business credit is super important is it makes it easier to get lower interest rates. If you're going to be borrowing a lot of money with your LLC, then you definitely want to be able to get the lowest interest rates possible on things like business loans, business credit cards, and other items. So the lower that the interest rates are on the money that you borrow, the less expensive the debt is. And the less money you will have to end up paying back in the form of interest throughout the life of the loan.
But getting a secured business credit card is a really good option, and don't laugh at it and don't think that you shouldn't do it, because you should.
Understanding what you can use the business credit for besides just business loans and getting business credit cards. Business credit is frequently used by insurance companies to generate premiums. So if your business credit is better than most, then you can get lower premiums for various types of business insurance that you will eventually need as a business owner.
So here is a secret tip so you do not get embarrassed, because this has happened to too many people and I do not want to see this happen to you. Please, 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 if you have poor credit, do not even waste your time going to the big banks, okay?
Business credit can also determine whether or not you qualify for contracts with other organizations. How do you actually get the business credit? Step number one is you're gonna need to register your LLC in your state. If you haven't already done this, and this is something that you're going to need to do.
So they're not as interested in loaning to someone with poor credit. However, if you go to the people that I told you to, they are literally in the business. They have guidelines set up and programs designed for people that have a newer business and that do not have good credit.
Step number two is get an employer identification number or an EIN number from the IRS. This is the number that separates you from your business.
In today's video, we are going to be going over how to buy a car in your business name and on business credit, because when you do purchase a car in your business name, specifically if it's over 6,000 pounds as well, using section 179, you are able to take advantage of bonus depreciation, which basically means you can write off the entire value of the car in the first year.
Step number three, open up your business bank account. I don't know why people don't do this after they get an EIN number, but please go do this. Generally speaking, having a business bank account makes your business seem more credible in the eyes of lenders.
So the first thing you're going to need to do in order to successfully buy a car in your business name is have a business. You need to have your LLC, you need to have your business bank account, you need to have your EIN, you need to have your DUNS number. You are not going to be able to acquire a car in your business name if you do not have a business.
And step number four, get a dedicated business phone number. I don't know why people forget about this step. This is a crucial step in order to make your business seem credible to lenders. Having a dedicated business phone number and making sure this phone number appears on your business's website, your social media accounts, local directories is crucial to make sure that your business appears professional.
You want to at least have your business for 6 months to a year before you go about this process, especially if this is the first business that you have, or if this is going to be the first, large trade line that you have on your account, okay?
Step number five, apply for a DUNS number. Now, a DUNS number is a number given by Dun & Bradstreet, a major business credit bureau in the United States. Having a DUNS number allows the agency to track your business's credit score.
Now, once you have that, the next thing that you want to do is start building up your business credit score. Please don't watch this video and be like, "Ooh, let me go form an LLC tomorrow and then go buy this car in my business name next Monday." No, you want to have some business credit built up.
Step number six, you need to ask vendors and ask suppliers to report your payments to business credit bureaus. This is a key step to starting to build your business credit and starting like the paper trail of transactions that are actually being reported to creditors.
You want to make sure that when they pull your business credit report, which they will, that they're able to see some activity and see some accounts that have already generated there on your profile. So the first thing you want to do is set up an account with nav.com. When you make your payment to them every month for their Boost program, that reports to your business credit. So this can actually be one of your very first trade lines. The next thing that you want to go ahead and do is make sure that you are building up in tiers 1, 2, and 3. So these are going to be capturing net 30 accounts like Uline, Quill, and Crown Office Supplies. In tier 2, you'll be looking at gas cards as well as some Amazon line of credit accounts and retail cards like Staples and Office Depot. And then in tier 3, you'll be looking at larger retail accounts like Apple, Best Buy, Dell. Tiger Direct is another great one. Floor & Decor is actually one you can qualify for even in tier 2. And now looking as well at some business credit cards. Now, once you graduate from those 3 tiers, you really want to ensure that you secure a business line of credit of at least 5 figures. That way, when you start to go and shop for a car in your business name, they can already see that your business has obtained trade lines, your business has obtained a line of credit, and they can see that your total credit acquired and total credit utilization is a good ratio and is in good balance. Now, the third thing you want to do is make sure your business bank accounts are very well organized. So when you go to apply for this car in your business name, they're going to ask you for at least 2 to 3 months of bank statements. So you want to ensure that your statements look good. So what that means is having separate accounts. So you should have an account where all your income goes into. That's one thing. You should also have an account for your expenses, for your taxes, for any reserves or savings, and then something for investing or innovation, right? New business ideas that you want to pursue. And so the reason you want to make sure you have an account for income and a separate account for expenses is that when you go to provide your business bank statements to these lenders for the loan of the car in your business name, you don't want your business bank statements to show deposits and then all these Chipotle charges, travel, GoDaddy, all different types of things. You want to make sure that that only comes out of your expenses account. So your income account should show deposits and then transfers over to your expenses account, for example, and that is it, okay? So you really want to make sure you start organizing it that way a few months in advance of going to apply for the car. So that way when they pull it, they can see what's really going on, all right? Now, the fourth tip that I have for you all is to start sourcing your financing, okay? And what I mean by that is to start looking outside of the dealership. So one of the ways to get the car in your business name is to go directly to the dealership and get the funding there through their commercial department. But you can also secure a commercial auto loan or a business line of credit outside of the dealership and then simply go into the dealership and buy the car.
We get approved for things and we're like, hey, we don't need to consider business credit. I was killing it for 5 years straight, getting over $250,000 every year consistently. Hit a bump in the road. So when I failed, Mitch, I failed hard. It was something like I had never experienced before. Attempted to live off my credit cards. They lowered all the credit limits and I was busted. I need to file bankruptcy personally and on the business. And he was like, well, that's $5K. Well, I don't have that. So I had to literally go down to the courthouse and file my own bankruptcy.
But let's not skip past the part when you said you hit a bump in the road. What was the bump in the road?
The bump in the road was the competition came. A company called Saunders.
Okay.
They're still out there killing it. So when I was in the short-term rental space, I was like a pioneer. So I was in what was known as a blue ocean. It was wide open. So I was able to charge $300 to $500 a night with ease without competition.
Right.
So fast forward 5 years, when I hit that bump in the road, REITs and hedge funds started getting, on to this Airbnb thing and short-term rentals. They came in and they did to me and other professional hosts what Walmart did to Kmart. So they came in and they undercut their prices.
Right.
So rather than charging $300 in a place like Chicago where we were located, they were charging $150 a night with amazing views and we just couldn't compete. So I literally went 4 months, 0 bookings.
They want to build a business credit out. Where should they start?
My go-to is Navy Federal. If you cannot get Navy Federal, go to some form of credit union. The reason I love credit unions and Navy Federal in particular is because they have products and services that can help you rebuild your personal credit. So they give out higher credit card limits. You do a pledge loan, you make sure that the loan is open for at least 24 months. You're able to use the monies that's backed up in the savings account as collateral. You can use that same monies to pay the loan off. It'll be released back to you and create a second line, a third line, a fourth line. And you're creating positive primary lines of credit. So what you do is you, for instance, say you go with a $2,500 pledge loan, right? Okay. You want to make sure that it's over $1,000 in order to make sure that you're able to have it open for 24 months. So Mike goes for a $2,500 pledge loan. He get approved, the next day he can then have that monies released to his checking account. He can take that very same money to pay the loan down. Guys, the key is, which I see this a lot of people will prematurely pay the loan off and it didn't serve its purpose. So you want to leave at least a $25 balance in there just to leave the account open for at least 24 months before you decide to close it. Navy Federal is liking you right now. Let's get a business account. And I never heard anyone talking about this, not even in my circles.
Right.
It was just something I did one day, and I was like, well, let's see if they'll give you some business credit too.
Right.
15K, 25,000 is what I'm seeing. So instantly, by running that one play that I just gave you, you can walk away with up to $50,000 while you're in the rebuilding phase, while you're under credit restoration.
And you got a relationship with Navy Federal, and it's a positive one, which is why they're giving you these access to these accounts.
Yes.
Perfect.